Okay. Later and I can say what to talk. What do you want money then again? Okay. All right. So, all right. So we'll begin. So, what we are talking about in the last class is something called monotone convergence theorem, right? So we have seen that, right? So if we have xn plus 1 is greater than xn, then we say that it is a increasing sequence, right? So if it is strictly greater than, then it is strictly increasing. Otherwise, we call it increasing sequence, right? So that is what we see. And then, right, secondly, we define something called boundedness, which is already done, right? So if xn is less than m, we call it bounded, right? So now what we are going to prove is, right, monotone convergence theorem, right? Every increasing sequence which is bounded above is convergent, right? So that is what we wanted to prove, right? So technically this is what we wanted to prove. Right, so bounded above and increasing implies convergent. So today's exercise, what we are going to do is to, first part, we are going to prove this, right? So I'm going to prove increasing sequence and which is bounded above is convergent, right? And then Kajan will do the converse part, right? So after this, what we are going to do is to, the other part is, right? So decreasing and bounded below also convergent. That results as a corollary Kajan will prove, and then he will do some exercises which we left undone in the previous classes, right? So I'm going to only prove this part. Right? So you know that if the sequence is bounded above and increasing, then we call it we say that it has a limit, right? So you want to show the limit, right? Right. So right. So well, let us take a set which contains elements, right? Right. So set B, the set of all xn, right? All the elements of the sequence you take, right? And then that is a increasing bounded above sequence, right? So then clearly, S is bounded above, right? If S is bounded above, then you know that then by first chapter, you know that S has a supremum. Right? If S has a supremum, right, then we can show that, or we want to show that that supremum is the limit, right? So say supremum of the set S is equal to L. Right? So we want to show that the limit of the sequence is also L, right? So if L is the supremum, then obviously you know what we have to do. We have to use the supremum property, right? So we have done already, right? So let epsilon be positive, right? S is the supremum of S is L, right? Since L is the supremum of S, right? You know that this, right? So L is an upper bound. So Xn must be less or equal to L for all n, right? And then the other property, right? You know that this is the first property you have. The second property, you know, there X is an n belongs to natural number such that L minus epsilon is less than Xn, right? You know that if you go little below the supremum, then you will be able to get one element which stays above that line, right? So L minus epsilon. So clearly you have this. These are from supremum property. But we also have one more thing, right? The other thing is this. Xn is an increasing sequence. Right? So Xn is an increasing sequence. So for all n, right, X small n is greater than X capital N. Right? So that is true. Because for all n larger than n, X small n is greater than X capital N. But here you have X capital N is less than L minus epsilon. So if you combine these three results, 1, 2, and 3, right? So L minus epsilon is less than Xn, right? But Xn is less than X small n. So for all n greater than natural number, this is less than X small n, but X small n is less or equal to L plus epsilon. Sorry, L. Right? So X small n is less or equal to L. So I combine all three together and write as one line. Right? So then what you have is, L minus epsilon is less than Xn less than L plus epsilon, because L is smaller, strictly smaller than L plus epsilon, because epsilon is positive. Right? So this one is strictly less than L plus epsilon, you all know. So that's clear. And this is true for all n greater than n. So what we have now is this. From the supremum property and the fact that Xn is increasing, we have this. Epsilon is arbitrary. So for every epsilon positive, there X is a natural number n such that L minus epsilon is less than Xn less than L plus epsilon for all n greater than n. Right? So this is what we have. Right? So for all epsilon greater than naught, there exists an n belongs to natural number such that L minus epsilon is less than Xn is less than L plus epsilon. So this is equivalent to this. This is equivalent to for every epsilon positive, there exists n belongs to natural number such that this, if you move L the other side, you get absolute value of xn minus L is less than epsilon for all n greater than n. And so this is the definition you have for L is the limit of the sequence. So thus, right, so thus you have limit of the sequence xn is equal to L, right? So that is what we have to prove, right? So we show that, so this implies the sequence is convergent. So that is what we wanted to prove, right? We begin with an increasing sequence which is bounded above, right? So once we know that it is an increasing sequence and bounded above, because of bounded above, the supremum thing comes in, right? So we say that the sequence set which contains all the components of the sequence is bounded above. So because of that, we have the supremum property. So there is a supremum exists, and we name the supremum as L, and then we use the properties of supremum or completeness property, the other version of the completeness property, and then we use the fact that xn is increasing, and combining all three, we get xn minus L is less than epsilon for all n greater than n. So that is called the limit of the sequence, because we already see that that is how we define the limit. So therefore, the sequence is converged. So this is what we have. So what Gajan is going to do from now is he will talk about the other part, right? So as a corollary, this is what he is going to do. Right, so he is going to do decreasing and bounded below together gives convergent, right? So what I did is increasing and bounded above gives convergent. What he is going to do is he is going to show you decreasing and bounded below will also give you convergent, right? And after proving that, he will do some of the exercises which we left in the last few classes on the sequence and the properties, right? So he will continue from here, and I will come back on Saturday class.
Okay, now we will proceed corollary part, right? Corollary part saying that every decreasing sequence is bounded below is convergent. Okay, every decreasing sequence is bounded below, it is convergent. Okay, for that part, right? Corollary. Every decreasing sequence, every decreasing sequence which is bounded below, okay, which is bounded below is convergent. Okay, this is convergent. Decreasing sequence which is bounded below is convergent. Okay, proof. For this proof, we mostly use the previous theorem, so already proved. Let after you can take the one of the sequence xn be a decreasing sequence, okay, decreasing sequence which is bounded below, right? Decreasing sequence which is bounded below. Right? You already know that since you already know that Sn is decreasing sequence, Sn decreasing sequence, therefore you can write Sn greater than equal Sn plus 1 for all n greater than n. Is it okay? Sorry, n greater than n belongs to natural number. Okay. Okay. It is a decreasing sequence definition. Okay. Sn greater than Sn plus 1. Okay. Now, I want to use the previous theorem. Therefore, since Sn is bounded below, okay, Sn is bounded below, therefore you can find each element m belong to real number such that bounded below, no, therefore one of the bounded below element exceed m less than equal xn. This m is bounded below, right? M less than equal Sn. Okay, m less than equal Sn for all n belong to natural number. Okay, n belong to natural number. Now I want to use the previous theorem, therefore I want to take this inequality to multiply both sides minus. For this inequality you can get minus Sn less than equal to minus Sn plus 1 for all n belong to natural number. Similarly for this part, right, they are like this, minus m belong to r, m is belong to real number means minus m also belong to real number, such that, right, such that here m less than equal minus, sorry, xn, therefore minus xn, right, minus Sn greater than equal to minus m for all n belong to natural number. From this part, you can say that here minus Sn is an increasing sequence, right? Minus xn is an increasing sequence, and also is bounded above, right? It's about minus m, no, minus Sn less than equal minus m. This one bounded above, okay? Therefore, we can use the previous theorem, right? It follows that minus Sn is increasing is an increasing and bounded above and bounded above and bounded above. Hence by theorem, hence by previous theorem, okay, previous theorem, minus Sn is convergent, okay, minus Sn is convergent and converge to supremum of this value minus Sn, supremum of minus Sn. That is, you take the limit for a minus Sn n length to infinity, this value equal supremum of minus Sn. You already know that this one you can write minus into limit of Sn n length to infinity. You already studied in the supremum property, you can write this one as a minus infimum of Sn. You can cut the term minus there, both sides, then you can get limit of n length to infinity Sn equal to infimum of Sn. Since this Sn is bounded below, minus Sn is here minus Sn, right? Sn is bounded below, right? But minus Sn is bounded above, okay? Sn is bounded below, minus Sn is opposite, bounded below. Bounded above, minus Sn bounded above, Sn is bounded below, okay? Sn is bounded below, right? Bounded below, and infimum of Sn exit, infimum of Xn exit, okay? Therefore, Sn is convergent, okay? Sn is convergent and converge to what is the value? Infimum of Sn, and converge to infimum of Sn. Is it okay? Sn is convergence and converge to infimum of Sn. Is it okay? Sn is convergent and converge to infimum of Sn. Okay. 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 Since Sn is bounded below, therefore infimum of Sn exit, right? Infimum of Sn exit. Hereafter Sn is convergent and converge to Fn of infimum of Sn. Since Sn is bounded below, infimum of Sn exit, Sn is convergent and converge to infimum of Sn and converge to infimum of Sn. Okay, under this line, right? Limit of n length infinity Sn equal infimum of Sn. Under this line, you can write, since Sn is bounded below, right? Since Sn is bounded below, Sn is bounded below, therefore infimum of f of x exit, infimum f of x, infimum of Sn, sorry, infimum of Sn exit, therefore Sn is convergent, therefore Sn is convergent, Sn is convergent and converge to okay, converge to infimum of f Sn. This is the proof, right? Since here we take Sn is an arbitrary decreasing bounded, arbitrary decreasing bounded below sequence, arbitrary decreasing bounded below sequence right, bounded below sequence. Therefore, it is true for every decreasing bounded below sequence is convergent. Therefore, every bounded below sequence is convergent. It's okay. Every bounded below sequence is convergent. Every decreasing bounded below sequence is convergent. Right? Sequence is convergent. Next one, some properties of the convergence, right? Some properties of the convergence. Okay. Next one, some properties of the convergent. This part, sir, already put as an exercise. This part, the sequence okay, the sequence Sn over Yn is convergent. We can simply denote by convergent as a CGT. Okay, it is convergent and this limit n length to infinity Sn over Yn L over M, provided that Yn not equal to 0 for all n and M also not equal to 0. Now you want to prove that this limit L over M, right? This limit L over M. Okay. How you can prove it? Let we prove this part. Right? We have, since the limit of Yn n length to infinity should be M, not equal to 0. They mentioned already. Therefore, it is an infinite limit. Therefore, n1 belongs to natural number such that Yn minus M less than modulus of M by 2 for all n greater than n1. It's okay. But you already studied in the inequalities, this one you studied Yn minus M less than obviously Yn minus this one less than modulus of M by 2 for all n greater than n1. From this one you can write this one Yn less than modulus of M less than modulus of m by 2 for all n greater than n1. From this one, you can release the modulus, then you get these values minus modulus of m by 2 less than yn minus modulus of m greater than modulus of m by 2 for all n greater than n1. For all n greater than n1, is it okay? For all n greater than n1. Now from this one you can write modulus of yn, you get this minus m, this here, this minus m, you can take here, you adding both side plus modulus of m plus modulus of m, you can get this inequality. Modulus of yn greater than modulus of m by 2 for all n greater than n1. This is your first one. Let epsilon greater than 0 be arbitrary. Then there exists n2 belong to natural number such that you already know that ym limit exit, right? Therefore you can use some values for epsilon, right? N2 such that you can write yn minus m less than, you can use any values here. I use here modulus of m squared by 2 epsilon. Is it okay? Second one. Here there are two values for n, n1 and n2. Therefore you want to take the maximum of value, that n1 and n2, that one n, maximum of n1, n2. Therefore 1 and 2 implies you got two inequalities, yn greater than modulus of m by 2, and for this one yn minus m less than modulus of m squared by 2 epsilon. Okay. Now you consider this one, 1 over yn, 1 over m. This one you can write yn minus m, yn into m. This one you can write less than, you know, yn minus m, this value is, no? Yn minus m means this one you have this one less than, there are some values, these values there, yn minus yn, for yn you can write greater than modulus of m by 2, but you have 1 over yn less than 1 over 2 over modulus of m, 1 over already modulus of m there, but yn minus m is this one, modulus of m squared by 2 epsilon. I think all m's values are cancelled, 2 cancel, then you get equal epsilon. Is it okay? Epsilon. That means, you know, that means there exists, now use n belong to natural number, such that this limit yn minus 1 over m less than epsilon for all n greater than n. This means, right, this means the limit of 1 over yn, n lends to infinity, 1 over m. Now you write 1 over m. Now your question is, right, you want to prove that Sn over yn. In the second part you already proved for a sequence Sn by n, the limit Sn lends to L and yn lends to m, then you already proved that limit of Sn into yn length to LM. That part we use here for prove this part. That means here limit of there's Sn over yn, no? Sn over yn, n length infinity. This one you can write limit of Sn into 1 over yn, n length infinity. This one we already studied. Sn n already proved this part in limit of 1 over yn, n length infinity, u into v. This one limit of n length infinity Sn, they already mentioned L. That's okay. What is the limit value for this one? 1 over m. That's it. 1 over m. Therefore, L over m definitely L not equal to 0. This is the proof. Okay. This is the proof. Therefore, that part. Now I do some example based on the Sandwich theorem. This one also you prove that Sandwich theorem in the sequence also you already proved that. I used the Sandwich theorems in sequence and I prove some examples, right? You already proved the Sandwich theorem, no? Then I do some problems based on the Sandwich theorem in the sequence. Okay. This example you can now do it. Limit of, you want to show that 1 over n factorial n length to infinity should be 0. For this part, use the Sandwich theorem. Obviously, this we have 0 less than 1 over n factorial, obviously 1 over n. For all n greater than, n belong to natural number. Since the sequence is 0, one of the sequence 0 sequence, and 1 over n another sequence, one over n have same limit, no? Same limit. If you n length infinity, this value should be 0. This limit also 0. Same limit 0. Therefore, by Sandwich theorem, right? By Sandwich theorem, this Sandwich theorem mentions that suppose this limit 0, this limit 0 means this 1 over n factorial limit also 0. Is it okay? Therefore, by Sandwich theorem, okay, by Sandwich theorem, limit of 1 over n factorial n length infinity, this one also 0. Right? That one also 0. Using the Sandwich theorem, okay? Using the Sandwich theorem. Now, this one also one of the theorem, right? This part, first part is already proved, right? I think here one of another theorem, this one there. I think about the monotone sequence, right? One of the theorem there, right? If Sn is a certainly positive sequence of real number, if Sn plus 1 over Sn lends to Sn plus 1 over Sn less than R less than 1 for all n belong to natural number, for any R belong to R belong to real number, then the limit of Sn equal to 0. Like that, for the if L equal to limit of n length infinity Sn plus 1 over Sn exit and L less than 1, then that case also limit of Sn L length infinity equal to 0. That B part we want to prove that, because I already said prove the A part. Now I want to prove the B part. Okay. The second part about the theorem, if L equal limit of n length to infinity Sn plus 1 over Sn exits, and this L less than 1, right? L less than 1, then you want to prove that then limit of Sn n length to infinity 0. Suppose that Sn is positive for all n belong to natural number, and that the limit you put value is equal to L, n length to infinity Sn plus 1 over Sn equal L. This one exits. Let L less than 1 case we want to check, then we can find such a rational number. The array is R belong to rational number such that within this interval you can find such a rational number L less than R less than 1. Since 0 less than equal to L, less than R, less than 1, and R minus L greater than 0. Here less than 1, obviously it is L greater than 0, okay? Therefore R minus L greater than 0. You take your epsilon now, this positive value R minus L. You already have, since limit of Sn plus 1 over Sn n length infinity, your value L, right? Your value is L. Okay. Limit of n length to infinity Sn plus 1 over Sn equal to L. Therefore, there exists n belong to natural number such that I use the definition for the limit, right? I use the definition for the limit. Sn plus 1 over Sn minus L less than R minus L, because this is epsilon value, right? Less than epsilon value equal to R minus L, obviously greater than 0. Okay. Now, to release the modulus, R minus L less than Sn plus 1 over Sn minus L R minus L. For all n belong to natural, for all n greater than n. Okay. This implies Sn plus 1 over Sn less than R for all n greater than n. This one implies Sn plus 1 R into Sn for all n greater than n. Now you have n greater than n, therefore for n value you can choose n plus 1 first value, right? Therefore Sn plus 2 greater than or S first value n plus 1, Sn plus 3 greater than or s n plus 2, and so on, and so on, right? And so on. And so on. You can write Sn less than or xn minus 1, Sn plus 1 less than or Sn. Therefore, your Sn plus 1 less than this one less than this one, like that you can write n minus capital N. It's okay? Sn plus 1 for all n greater than n. This one implies, right, you already have 0 obviously less than Sn plus 1 less than this one. This one you can write Sn plus 1 over r to the power capital N into r to the power n small n for all n greater than n. But obviously since this r 0 less than r less than 1, therefore this r to the power n length to 0 as n length to infinity. Is it okay? Therefore, limit of this n length infinity, this one 0, no? Therefore, limit of, by sandwich theorem, this one 0, this one 0, mean this limit also 0. This sequence, subsequence limit 0, therefore sequence limit also 0. Okay? Subsequence limit 0, therefore sequence 0 limit also 0. Now I stop here. Okay. We'll continue next class. Okay.